All right. And speaking of the inspiration behind No Sunlight, I know that you talk about the queens in your life, your lady, your first lady, and then your daughter.
Oh yeah. That's true. I also mentioned a lot of that as far as it comes to my wife and stuff and how I treat her. I feel nowadays in the music industry now, I forgot you have this guy named Tobe. That's like Tobe, how he showcases his wife and stuff like that. I feel that even brings even more of a audience because women like to be treated right. They don't like to hear artists who sometimes lie in their music, but in reality, that's not who they actually are. And I feel that when I'm talking about No Sunlight, I'm talking about how I'm willing to do greater things for my wife. Boom, you see it in reality. I feel that brings more viewer to say, oh, he's really that.
Yeah, he's showing up not only as an artist, but as a family man, as someone who is supportive, as someone who respects women of all ages. I love that for you. Can you talk about your influences when it comes to music? I know that your family is a part of that since the early days of you being interested in music and film.
I would say like my influences come from different places, especially from my mother. My mother's always, she used to always do this Sunday cleaning where she'll cut on some music and then she'll be like, everybody need to clean up, but she'll be playing like 80s rock and stuff like that. So I'm heavily inspired in like 80s rock and even like Culture Club, where you have like Boy George and some of his music, and I'm heavily into, you could say, a mixture even with pop also. So yeah, you can say those are my influences is rock, but I do listen to certain rappers. Like I do like DMX, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to him, Kanye, Lupe Fiasco, it's a lot of them.
Look, shout out to Mama Dukes and shout out, rest in peace to DMX, because not only did DMX make great music where people could connect with him, but he was real with everything that his journey faced, such as, the fight with drugs. And I want to, speaking of his fight, do you feel like the fight with being a great artist and a great film director is a journey or is a battle that you're facing every day?
Yeah, you know what? That's very. I'm actually glad you even asked me that because that's factual, because it's like when you're creative, sometimes you feel like you're being overlooked because more stupidity gets more light, and when you put a lot of work into something and it's kind of something that it doesn't really like take to the people, but then somebody does something stupid and that takes to the people, it to me is more of a challenge because you're going to listen to this, you're going to listen to what I have to say, and I'm never gonna dumb down my stuff just for the for the viralness.
Yeah, for the viral moment. We're making conscious music. I love how you speak on that. So with you going on tour, you being from Miami, how has the southern states or the southern areas responded to your music?
Love, man, love. Like, that's one thing I noticed is that southern hospitality is real. Like, every place I done went into, from is Gulfport, Mississippi, Atlanta, Valdosta, the whole Georgia to Louisiana, to even when I came here, like soon we touched down up in Houston, it was like the vibe was just love, like, you know what I'm saying? So, and it's like, I just feel that they embrace, because that creativeness came from, Outkast comes from like, down south. So a lot of creative artists come from down south. So I think it feels easy for them to take on to what, Kaiju got to say. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Now, speaking of Kaiju's creativity, we talked about where the root word originates from, and this is familiar in the Japanese culture. And so, like, speaking of your outfit, it seemed like every time you're in an interview or every time you're present that you're showing this Japanese style, that you got your rings going on, you got your jewelry going on, you got Vans on your feet.
Yeah. Shout out to Vanz. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Vanz, man. These right here, the old school joints. I think they call it the new schools. I think got that wrong. But shout out to Vanz, man. They helping it out, man. But yeah. I'm heavily into like Japanese animation. Back then, I was one of the people who actually fathered that style to even mention Japanese animation into your raps. People don't even know that, like during my old days when I was doing music when I first came in. But yeah, I heavily bring in that sort of stuff because I always been into that, like Toonami back then on Cartoon Network and stuff like that. So it plays a major part into my style.
Okay. And speaking of your style, while we're on here, shout out to Vanz. You just mentioned them. So is there a partnership going on, a sponsorship? What's the relationship?
Yeah, they helping out. They helping out the vibes. I would say, they helping me out. I would say a sponsor here and there, like that they're helping out with as far as my travels and everything dealing with like with the kicks, and especially I got like mad sneakers from them. So it's actually.
Hey, this dope. Speaking of something that was dope that I saw you do, you recently had a live performance where you performed with the Revolution Band.
Oh yeah. I did something called Wet Cigarette, and that was like it was a live band like performance that we did, and it was that tapped into my rock and roll like vibes. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel that when it comes to music, it should be broad, like it should be like very large as far as your creativity goes. And I wanted to bring out that 80s vibe that my mom, I brought up about my mother. I wanted to bring that into the song Wet Cigarette. So yeah, that really plays a major part into my creativity. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so Wet Cigarettes is out. However, No Sunlight is the current project, is what we can listen to. Where can we find it?
Okay, you can check out No Sunlight on Spotify, on all streaming platforms, Apple Music, YouTube, and you can also I guess you could say you could check it out too on YouTube. Also, come and have to be shooting a visual, because I want people to be focused on the streaming of it too. So yeah, YouTube. Check out YouTube because it's coming, the video. It's mostly in my mind is a visual. They got
to check out what's coming with No Sunlight. Like you said, you talked about women. You talked about this image of like truly being yourself and not shying away from who you are outside of music, right?
Yeah, like as far as when it comes to me being like, as far as creatively mixing the music with who I am as a person, I feel that plays a major part in people's artistry, because I feel that that's very horrible to meet somebody who you listen to and then not exactly what you're listening to. I feel that's a letdown. That's almost like an actor who says martial arts was actually a stunt person doing it. So it's like, I feel that, as far as an artist, I would love to always be exactly what I am in my music, whether it be creative with directing, whether it be rapping, I want to be exactly that when you meet me.
And thank you so much for sitting down with us. Like you mentioned, you shouted out your platforms and where they can find you. It's a pleasure. Thank you for sitting down with us. I'm
so glad to be here, man. Shout out to H-Town. Just shout out to you. Y'all show mad love, and there's always gonna be a second home to me. I'm just letting you know that right now. This Kaiju can't die, man. You know.
Kaiju can't die. Y'all know the Unconquerable. Follow your girl. Like, subscribe. Y'all fill in and tap in. Zayn Halitha TV. Thank you so much for tuning in with your girls in there. You're going.